Hey, welcome back to another Refuge recap. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been diving into the book of Esther. Last time we left off with this, Haman, the villain of this story, successfully persuaded King Xerxes to issue a decree to kill all of the Jews. Now here's the kicker. Esther, the king's new wife, is a Jew herself. Not only is she a Jew, but her cousin Mordecai is a Jew as well, and the king's decree will now kill everyone in the city. It's just mind-boggling. As we wrapped up last week, picture this, the king and Haman lounging on the balcony sipping wine while chaos is in the whole region because the Jews are about to die. So we jump back into Esther chapter 4 and we find Mordecai in deep mourning. He's sitting at the city gate and he is overwhelmed by the impending tragedy facing his people. And he's just in sackcloth and he's mourning. As word reaches Queen Esther about her cousin Mordecai, she sends her chief servant to find out what's really going on. And then Mordecai reveals this situation that's going on, that Haman's plot is to kill all the Jews with the king's consent. He begs Esther to intercede with the king on behalf of her people. Esther is hit with a wave of panic. Me? Go to the king without being asked? She's terrified. She knows the risk. And anyone who approaches the king without an invitation faces the potential of death, unless he extends his golden scepter. So there was months and months until she was summoned and the stakes got higher and higher and it was risk. But Mordecai's words resonated deeply. Don't think that just because you live in the king's house, you're one of the Jews that are going to get out of this alive. Maybe you were born for such a time as this. It's a powerful call to action, a reminder that sometimes we're placed in a very specific position for pivotal, important moments. Imagine if this were you. How would it change your perspective on your own situations you're facing in life? What actions would you take? How would you treat those around you? You are here for a reason. Whatever is going on in your life, you're here for a reason. And at that moment, Esther was in that moment for a reason. So you have to understand that God's plan for you isn't random. It's purposeful. It's on purpose. I love in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4, it reminds us, for he chose us before we're even created to be holy and blameless in his sight. In this story, Esther's bravery pays off. She gathers the Jewish community and asks them to pray and fast, recognizing the power on both of those spiritual disciplines. She risks everything in approaching the king, and the king accepts her. He hands her the scepter, the golden scepter, and she's accepted by this. But not only does she accept it, she says this, hey, I want to throw you and Haman a banquet. I want to operate within protocol and etiquette, and I want to show that I just want to love you and care about you in this kingdom. Her willingness to risk her life was a defining moment with a reward. It's the testimony of God's provision and guidance during our defining moments. So as we wrap up, I want you to remember, trust God's plan. Everything that you face, everything that you're going through is going to have a defining moment. And in those defining moments, God's provision will always show up. So make sure to tune in next week to hear the rest of the story, because this isn't the end. This is just the pivotal point of an amazing thing that God is going to do in the story of Esther. So what that tells me is, it tells me that this is not the end for us, that God has provision for us in pivotal moments that are going to not only define us, but define the goodness of God in our lives.